Zion Clark is a wrestler, social media influencer, bodybuilder, powerlifter, and entertainer who is considered one of the most inspirational humans on this planet today. Why? Because Zion has achieved everything he has achieved without legs. Zion was born in Columbus, Ohio on September 29, 1997, with a very rare genetic birth defect known as Caudal Regression Syndrome. Caudal Regression Syndrome is a condition which affects the development of the lower part of the body. For Zion, it meant that he was born without legs. Zion had it tough since birth and was given up for adoption by his mother, who was not fit to be a parent. He had no father, and so from a young age, Zion was forced to fend for himself, all without legs. Zion was passed around from foster family to foster family and was labeled a problem child by the foster care system because he required additional care because of his condition. Despite his setbacks, Zion showed a keen interest in activities such as music and wrestling. His interest in wrestling began one of the most inspirational stories in the history of the sport. While in elementary school, Zion was first introduced to amateur wrestling. Now, this is where you expect to hear about how he was an instant natural and was pinning his opponents without even trying, right? Well, prepare for a shock. Zion struggled as a wrestler, and not just because of his disability either. It took years for him to win his first match, but once he did, a fire had been lit under him like never before. Zion credits much of his success as a wrestler to his Massillon High School wrestling coach, Gil Donahue. Donahue saw huge potential in Zion, who had a great physique, natural ability, and one of the most impressive work ethics that Gil had ever seen. He decided to take Zion under his wing. Gil and Zion formed a great friendship, and Zion began to improve massively. He would spend hours working on his technique, and he began training in the gym harder than ever. Zion's technique improved massively, as did his physique. He became bigger, stronger, and faster than ever. Now carrying more lean muscle mass and having worked on his wrestling technique, Zion was ready to become a wrestler. In his senior year, he finished the season with a 33-15 record and narrowly missed out on the D1 Ohio High School State Wrestling Championship by just one match. On paper, Zion was severely outmatched, yet the match went to the wire, with Zion very nearly coming out victorious. This great show of heart and tenacity was why Zion was destined for greatness. His performance earned him a standing ovation and the admiration of the spectators. Zion picked up numerous wheelchair racing titles and began wrestling in Kent State. Here, he continued to improve his skills and climb the rankings at varsity level for the next 2 years. Not one to shy away from a challenge, Zion set himself the target of being the first U.S. athlete to compete in both the Olympics wrestling and the Paralympics wheelchair racing. As if that wasn't enough, Zion is also a Guinness World Record holder, holding the world record for walking on his hands with an astonishing time of 4.78 seconds for 20 meters. This made him literally the fastest man on 2 hands. Because of his inspirational life story, a documentary about his life was released to critical acclaim at the 2018 Sundance Film Festival. Before being released on Netflix, it continues to be a huge hit and draws in big views even now. Zion still wrestles, while also pursuing other interests in powerlifting on the bench press, wheelchair bodybuilding, and as a circus performer and entertainer. He is passionate about sharing his story and helping to show others that there are no obstacles in life we can't overcome. In the words of Zion himself, "Be greater than the obstacles you face. You and only you are in control of your destiny." What do you think about this amazing story? Please let us know in the comments. This was a Channel Aesthetics Legacy.